What's up, Algebra 1 students? This is lesson 24, and we are wondering, how do you solve decimal equations? So we're pretty much doing the same thing we did yesterday, except for now we're going to throw in decimals into our equations, just to mix it up and make it a little bit more fun, because yesterday's lesson was just way too easy. And that was a joke. Okay, so there's actually two different ways we can solve decimal equations. The first way is if you kind of freak out whenever you see decimals and you're like, I don't like decimals, then we can what we call clear the decimals, or we can get rid of those decimals. And to do that, we're going to multiply by powers of 10. So what we're going to do that is we're going to look through and see what is the smallest part of a number that we have. Let's say here we have a whole number here, and here we have a tenth of a number, and here we have tenths of a number. So notice, since we just have one number to the right of the decimal place in all of these, all I have to do is multiply this whole equation by 10. So multiply the left hand side by 10 and the right hand side by 10. Now the cool thing about multiplying by 10 or 100 is it doesn't really change the numbers except for where the place value or where the decimal is at. So when we multiply 10 times 4, that's just going to give me 40. When we multiply 10 times 0.2, that's going to give me 2, and of course that x is there, so it'll be 2x, which is equal to, and then we got 10 times 8.6, which is going to give me 86. And now we have an equation just like we had yesterday. We're going to go about solving that. So I'm going to subtract 40. I have 2x is equal to 46. To get that x by itself, remember these are multiplying, so I'm going to do the opposite, divide. So these right here, 2 over 2 becomes 1. So I have 1 times x, or x, which is equal to half of 46, which would be 23. Trying another one of these, we'll start off the same way. Notice right here we have one number to the right of the decimal. So to get rid of that one, I just need to multiply by 10, right? Move it over one place. As I move to the left, notice I have two numbers to the left of to the right of the decimal. So that means to get rid of this decimal, I have to actually have to multiply by 1 or by 10, 100. Because we got hundredths right there. So to multiply by 100 in order to get rid of that decimal. But then, even worse than that, I guess you could say, is over here, I have thousandths of a number. So let's multiply this one by 10, 100, 1,000 in order to get rid of those decimals. So I'm going to go and pick the biggest of those and multiply both sides by that. So multiply the left hand side by 1,000. And the right hand side by 1,000. So remember, whenever you multiply by 1,000, that's going to move it, each decimal place, 3 places to the right. So as I say, 1,000 times this number, it's going to move it over 1, 2, 3 places, which is exactly what we're looking for, 4m. So multiply it by this one, I'm going to move this over, again, 3 places to the right, 1, 2, 3, so I have to add a 0 there. It's going to be plus 60 is equal to this times that, move it over 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 800. So kind of a big number, but there are no decimals there. So I'm going to subtract 60. I'm going to get 4m is equal to 740. Divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to get m is equal to 185. And I didn't just do that in my head, I actually used a calculator, just so you know. Alright. Now there's another way to do these, and that's just to do pretty much like we did yesterday, except for just deal with some of the decimals as we were working with this. So let's try one like that. Let's add 0.4. Remember, whenever you're adding and subtracting decimals, you have to line those decimals up. right? Those decimals are lined up, those decimals are lined up. So negative 0.4 plus 0.4 just gives me 0. So on the left-hand side, I just have 0.3n plus 0 is equal to 0.6. Then we divide both sides by by 0.3. Divide this by 0.3. These become 1. And I have n is equal to 2. Okay. Try another one of these here. So we'll subtract 0.8. So this part right here goes to 0. So I have negative 0.02n is equal to a negative 0.4. Divide by that negative 0.02. Negative 0.02. So this part right here becomes 1. Leaving my left hand side just with n, which is what we're wanting. Negative divided by negative makes that positive, so my answer is going to be positive. So I'm wondering how many 0.2s are in 0.4. And that comes out to be 20. So the answer to that one is 20. Now one more thing we're trying to do on here is find decimal numbers of a number, decimal parts of a number. And I didn't finish writing that. So we just have this little equation. We have the decimal part of the given number is what number? So we have a decimal part of 0.71 of 80 is what number? So we're going to do the decimal part. The word of refers to multiplication. The other number that they gave us is refers to an equal sign. What number? So really all we're asking is 0.71 times 80 is equal to what? I just do that in my calculator real quick. I get 56.8 is equal to that some number. So my answer is going to be 56.8. And again, we can do this by hand. Don't think that we have to have a calculator to do this. It just makes our life a little bit quicker and easier. Your homework assignment is on page 142. You're doing all the 24s, all the 23s, and 10 more of your choice. Good luck!